This is being recorded. So I'll call the meeting to order. You need to approve the agenda as printed. No motion. Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda as printed. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Public comments on ladies? No comments by the public. Communication shared by solid waste board members. None of those? Moving onward. Approval of minutes, June 28th, 2023 open session. Second. Motion's made to approve the minutes of June 28th open session. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I wasn't there. Abstained? I was on abstention. All right. Motion is carried. Doug or Paul?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. Okay, pursuant to section 19.85, parent 1, parent G, Wisconsin statutes. At this point in the meeting, the board shall consider a motion to convene into closed session for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the government body, which is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved as it relates to Snell Road landfill notice of claim for groundwater drawdown event.
Motion's been made. Second. And second, we need a roll call vote.
Mike,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Jerry,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Howie,
Aye.
Doug,
Alright,
Pat,
Aye.
and Jim.
Aye. We are now in closed session
Okay, give me one.
and operations manager report department. Oh, where's over there?
To highway? No, you go back to the office, I'll go to highway.
Oh, okay. The short straw.
Don't have a lot to report on, unfortunately,
If
but
there's any, you're welcome to
Oh, and don't,
just to keep
oh,
your.
you guys want one of my donuts, you never donut. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We just want to stay on the good side.
You're on our list.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to report on. Operations are going very well since we've moved on into operations. I just wanted to make you aware, I was out at the July 12th household hazardous waste collection. It was Wednesday after we had made the vote to remove certain chemicals from the shelves and ultimately discontinue the program at the end of the season for product exchange. I did have one in-person citizen complaint on the 12th. She asked us to stop work so she could explain what was going on here. And I actually instructed her that the vendor will continue to work because they have a job to do and I will listen to her concern. She said she was very concerned over the amount of material that was being packaged up and shipped off site for burning and it's incineration. That she said it's not environmentally sound and that even 2 inches left in a bottle someone else could use. So she was very concerned that we were making the switch to start removing material. I did explain to her about the liability, about products that are mislabeled, about the improper or illegal use of certain materials, and the recent notification from the FBI that certain materials are being made into explosives. I mean, in my opinion, she was kind of in denial mode because it doesn't happen around here. These people can get this stuff from the stores anyway. Why shouldn't they be able to get it from our facility? I did go into a little bit more information with her. After she left, she did call and complain to Cassie, the same complaint. So I think we'll hear back from her again. But we're doing it for the right reasons, so we will continue down this path. I also wanted to make you aware about the recent media attention, if you hadn't heard, last weekend. I think WBAY had mention of a basement meth lab that had been busted up in Green Bay in Brown County. There was a drug arrest or 2 drug arrests out of there. And, it was a well-known chemist, basement chemist, who writes books on how to make raisin and cook crystal meth and, make improvised explosive devices. His name is Uncle Fester. I learned about him about 20 years ago when I used to work in law enforcement. So they found him, they busted him for drug arrest, and we found a crystal meth lab in his basement. So it does happen around here, and, I did make Brown County HMR aware of that, in case that was one of their regular customers, or if there's other associated parties that you would show up with, they can watch that facility. But again, we're doing it for the right reasons, and case in point right there, timing of that was very interesting, but, yeah. Any questions?
You should have had Doug, over there on the 12th, right?
I'll give her
I don't
your
know.
number.
I'd have brought enough bail money. They only take cash. I know that.
Uncle Fester.
Okay, thanks, Ken.
Was she concerned about the environment, or that was her take on it?
Yeah, her concern is environmentally, it would be better for it to go back out into people's hands so that they can use it up. And I pointed out that some of the materials actually banned. I mean, for reason, because it was taken off the shelf in the 1970s, some people still have it in their garages. And I mean, technically incineration is more environmentally sound than putting it in the landfill. And I pointed that out to her too. And of course, she didn't want to argue, but she wanted to make sure I was aware of her position on this issue. So.
You should have had like a roll of toilet paper and took notes. Well, that's off the record.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, I think, 8 is, and then we can get a report from the bank.
Next day.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let me put the spreadsheet up there. Yeah, so our gas to energy operations are, it's actually running pretty well. Been running about 500 CFM, mostly running engines 2R and 3, as you can see from May and June. In end of May, middle of May, engine 4 went down. June was some repairs on engine 4, and now we're in the process of doing a decoke on engine 4. The site is pretty happy at about 500 CFM, good quality methane, 55%, less than 0.5% oxygen. So it's kind of in this happy spot where our environmental tech isn't having to do like wild adjustments to the well field. He's kind of got it set, and minor tweaking of the wells that are really good producers. The repairs that we did last fall have really helped with oxygen on this side of the hill. So it's running well. There is flare operation when our mechanical tech is on vacation. We shut the engines down, turn the flare on. So periodically you might see the flare running on a weekend. We're hoping the decoking will be done by the end of this month, late this month, so we'll be able to run engine 4 a little more. So as you can see in June, 52,490.09 was from 2R and 3. The engine 4 ran for about 11 hours, and it generated enough electric revenue to offset the cost of the electricity at the site. So we have a small bill of $49.45. So the total for the month, 52,440.72. We're at 387,983 through 6 months. So we're certainly going to hit our budget amount, and maybe even a little bit better, depending on how things hold together. One other thing I wanted to point out is the WPS rates are changing. They were solid January, February, March. where the blended rate was, about 7.2 cents a kilowatt. In April and May, it dropped to about 6 cents a kilowatt blended. And now the latest bill, it went up slightly on the peak, side of things, so the blended rate is about 6.2 cents a kilowatt. So we're still dealing with this variable rate. We're continuing to look at some other options that are out there and hope to have a presentation for the board at a future meeting, likely after the budget process. I mentioned at the last board meeting that we sold our used engine 5 transformer. Cassie had to do a little negotiating with the bidders, and we ended up agreeing on the second. The high bidder didn't get his payment in time, so he was DQ'd. We went to the second bidder and had to do a little negotiating, but $54,100 is what the used transformer sold for. We received payment. The vendor came and picked it up last Friday, so it's gone.
Did you ever figure out what we paid for it?
No, I didn't have a chance to.
Do we have any more of them laying around?
Yeah, the last time we had 3 of them, which was back, I wanna say we sold them in like 2012. We had 3 old transformers that have been sitting over at Snell for, probably 10 years plus. And we sold those for about $12,000. They were smaller ones, but this is a big, with engine 5, it was a big 2000 kVA transformer, so. And it was, there was interest from about 5 companies on the auction site, so. Different companies that buy and refurb and resell electrical components, so, yeah, if we end up dropping another engine, we'll definitely have to have another one to sell. The other thing we got going in the queue is, every couple of years, we issue a RFQ for engine oil quotes. So our engines use roughly 5,000 gallons a year of engine oil to generate the electricity. So we're going to be putting an RFQ out on the street here in the coming weeks, get quotes from vendors and then award a 2-year service agreement with the vendor. Currently, we're set up with Lube Tech, and we're using a mobile product. It's been a good product compared to some of the other oils that we've used in the past. So we'll see what the results are like, and hopefully we can stick with this mobile product. And the last thing I wanted to mention, we wanted to take care of a few repairs on the co-disposal site here, much like we did last fall with clean out 4L on the east side of the hill. There's also 2 other cleanouts, very similar design, that we're going to excavate and fix likely torn geomembrane boots. So we've got a contractor that's gonna be coming out the week of August 14th to dig up, repair geomembrane boots, button those areas back up to give us the best chance of collecting the best quality gas that we can get from the site. There's also a leachate conveyance line that our environmental tech is having some issues with. I don't know if it's plugged or pinched or crushed or what's going on, but we're gonna have the contractor dig that up and repair a section of 4-inch HDPE pipe. So hopefully by September we'll have those repairs done. So
And can we just hire a contractor to do that? Do we have to, are there limited people that are willing to do it? And do we have to, how do we circumvent the bid process, I guess?
Well, I guess last fall we got quotes from 2 companies that have done a lot of this kind of work for us.
Okay,
One quote was about half the cost of the other quote, so we went with the low quote. And what Corp Council has authorized us to do is kind of extend that work with this, this company. And we're gonna base it off a T and M schedule. So they have a T and M schedule that they provided to us, and we'll just have to track hours of, guys, equipment, that sort of thing, to determine how much the repairs are gonna cost. And Corp Council gave me the okay to proceed with that. What we'd like to do, and the environmental tech and I have talked about doing this, is putting together kind of an RFP and getting time and material quotes from various contractors that do this kind of work, and then select a contractor to have on a retainer, to have an agreement with, where we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. We can just pick up the phone and say, hey, we got some problems that, whether it's here or whether it's at Snell, when can you come on site to fix this or fix that? So.
Plus if you can do that and use the same contractor, he's pretty familiar with the people he's working with and the hill and everything else, it just.
Yeah.
Makes it so much quicker and easier.
Yeah, so. That's all I had to report.
Any more questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oh, that's August, what date?
August 2nd.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
If you got any.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.